afternoon, class. Happy Wednesday. I am happy to see everyone. Today, I am going to start off by having you share about what you just wrote in your journal. If you can please take a look at these questions. Initially, I cited a quote here: good luck reaches farther than long arms, and it's a quote by H.G. Wells. Why would anyone believe in luck or fate? Why would anyone not believe in luck or fate? Are some people lucky and others unlucky? Can we increase our chances of being lucky? So I am curious about your thoughts. Please turn around, please turn to your partner, to the person sitting next to you, and talk about any of these questions. One person is going to be a listener, the other person is going to be a speaker. You need to determine who goes first, and you are going to have 1 minute. So the first person will share, while the other person will listen. If you are sitting next to no one right now, look around and choose someone that you are going to partner up with. Please find yourself a partner. If you're sitting by yourself, get on up and join someone that does not have a partner. Victor and Taylor, you can partner up if you like. You can be a trio, and everybody else, please partner up. I'm going to start the clock. You have 1 minute. Remember, one person is the listener and the other person is the talker. I am going to pause you for a second. The first minute is over, and that was for the first speaker. Let's transition. Now the next person is going to get a chance to speak, and the previous person will be the listener.
By getting rid of all and everything, like especially Taylor and Ted, I think not the only So what can they do to make them?
I am going to ask you, thank you so much for sharing with your partners. Right now we are going to transition into hearing some of what you shared with the class. I am going to be using the equity sticks to call out a person's name. If your name is called out, please participate, please share either one of these questions. Let's see who is going to be our first. Kate Contreras. Okay, so some people could have a bad day, or it could be wondering, are they, is that fate or is it lost? Ladies at the back, can we please be respectful and listen to our peer? So if someone is talking, I am going to ask you to be cordial and give your attention to them without having side conversations. Thank you. Jasmine. Not here? Victor. Please share one of those questions. Whatever you answered when you were talking with Taylor.
How can we can't increase our chance of being elected?
You don't think so? Tell us. Do share. Why don't you think we can increase our chances of being lucky?
Because what happens out of nowhere?
Okay, what happens out of nowhere? Would you say that you've ever felt lucky at some point in your life or ever?
Perhaps.
Perhaps? Thank you. Can you please choose the next person?
Yeah, mine.
He's not here.
Jasmine Powers.
Jasmine is. Let me put the people who are not here aside so we do not call them Jasmine.
Ashley Hardy.
Ashley, can you please share one of the questions that you answered and that you got to talk with your partner earlier on? Choose one of between 1 and 4. Number 4.
Oh.
Can you please? Excuse me? Can I help you answer something? No? Please direct your attention to Ashley. Ashley, go ahead. Number 4. You can read it out loud.
No, we can't.
Can we increase our chances of being
No,
lucky?
we can't.
We can or no?
No.
We cannot. Can you say a little bit more about your answer? Like, what's your reason?
Because I just want something great in life.
Because? I didn't hear your reason.
I just,
Hmm? You do not know.
no, I don't.
That's okay. Choose one more person and then we are going to transition into the next activity. Can you say his name? Yin-chan. Please share with us your answer to, excuse me? You have not done it yet. That is okay if you did not write it, but you can take a moment to look at the question. Why would anyone believe in luck or fate? Why would anyone not believe in luck or fate? And are some people lucky or luckier than others? Choose one of those to answer and share with the class, please. Would you like for me to come back to you in a little bit? Sure, I'll come back to you. Thank you all for sharing. I am actually curious about what people's belief in luck, whether people believe in luck or fate. Give me a second, please. Oh, there we go. Before proceeding, I am going to share with you today's. Before proceeding, I'd like to share today's agenda about what we are doing in class. We are going to be doing a little bit of evidence and commentary regarding, like, when you write an essay. Usually we have, whenever we write an essay, we have like a topic sentence, we have a paragraph, we have supporting details, and we have some commentary or explanations that we provide in the essay. We are going to be covering some of that. And this is today's agenda. We started up with the journal writing. We are going to review character traits and themes. We are going to have an informal assessment in which I ask you some open-ended questions, which we will discuss as a whole class. And we're also going to look into some essential questions, like very important questions regarding what we are going to be learning about today, which is comparative analysis. I will demonstrate with a sample of a sample way I compare two characters, so you see an example of how to do it. And then we are going to get a chance to do it as a whole class, and also you'll do it individually. After you got a chance to share, I'm going to ask someone to read this quote. Christian, can you please read what it says in the board?
People have different ways of seeing the world, and individual life patterns are important.
What do you think about this quote? So, for example, we talked about believing or not believing in luck. What do you think about this quote? I want you to think about it, and maybe in your break, talk to your friend about it. If you actually think that, you know what, people do have different ways of seeing the world. We can believe in different things, and that's okay. Right now, let's take a 2-minute break. Please get up, walk around, talk to a friend, and then we are going to come back.
How are you just doing it? I'm like, how you just did it? You make a bad.
Really?
And I'm grabbing her hair.
Well, actually, we're both on the dark. Oh shit, we might have a tie. No, but you
so mean.
Right, her cousin? Yeah. Her dad is my dad's brother. Yeah, but. Mine? No, it's because. No. What's it called? So, our dad, they have different dads.
Hey.
She was freaking sick. She has a picture somewhere.
Girl, I don't know how to show us buddy. Oh, that is right. I can check that out.
How was bored? They picked up. What's 48 after 24? That's 48. You killed him. 5, 4, 16, 62. I said 72. Are you sure? Okay. Oh.
You're not scared. That's okay. If I like pay attention, I'm good. That's why I want to grow. You need to stretch. Stretch.
All right, let's come on back to our seats. The 2 minutes break. Over, please take a seat. Let's get back to your seats, please. Have a seat.
Stop wearing a fake wig. Keep wearing fake wigs.
Right here. Please have a seat. All right. In this next part, we are going to be doing a little bit of a review about what we learned in our previous lesson. We were reading about Antigone, and you've been kind of like having discussions about it. And we learned about analyzing character traits. We learned about analyzing themes. We also did a little bit of academic vocabulary where we defined some of these words. Right now, I am going to ask a couple of people for us to do a review. If you hear your name, please get on up. I have a couple of abbreviations on the board. Choose either one of those for you to explain what those abbreviations mean. The first person is, why do I keep on getting adjustments in here? Yi Chan. If you can go and maybe write an explanation of either one of these words in green. Other TSCD, CM1, CM2. Conflict, you can provide a definition or a synonym. Character trait, you can provide another word for character trait. Motivation, evidence, and what it means to be fair. Whichever one you want to choose to do it. We have markers over here. Pick a marker and then you can go up to the board and write it. The next person, Kate, same, choose any of the words that you want to provide a definition. Victor, you are next. Choose one of those words for you to provide an explanation. Thank you. I'm going to give you about like 30 seconds and then we're going to do a review. So, when we write a paragraph, there's a couple of structures. For example, a paragraph is a group of sentences related to one topic. And when we are writing a paragraph, we usually need a topic sentence. And then we need concrete details to provide an explanation about ideas in a paragraph. We also have a concluding sentence in a paragraph. So right now, I hope some of this is coming back to you. Motivation. Yeah, you can just write a synonym or a definition. TS, in the beginning of the paragraph, we write a topic sentence. CD, for example, when we have been reading Antigone, we need to find a text or we need to cite textual evidence. So CD usually stands for concrete detail. And also we have usually a commentary in which we paraphrase our own words. That's commentary 1. And for commentary 2, would you like to share? Yes. Excuse me. Thank you to the volunteers. You may now please have your seats. All right, so let's do a little review of some academic vocabulary words from our previous lesson. I'm actually going to ask Joel, can you please read the first few lines up to the page from the lesson review? Okay, so those are some key terms that we are going to be reviewing. Who remembers what the meaning of the word analyze means? Do you remember what the word analyze means? There's an image of that on top. I'm going to choose someone's name. Ashley, do you remember what it means to analyze? No? Does anybody else remember what it means to analyze? We learned about this in our previous class. What does it mean to analyze? If you're analyzing something. To observe. Thank you. So to analyze means to observe. Could you maybe elaborate a little bit? Could you say a little bit more about what the word analyze means?
Looking for evidence.
Looking for evidence. What about this next word? Character traits. What's another word for us to say character traits? How could we explain character traits? What's another way to say it? Characteristics. What else? Personality. Awesome. The next keyword is going to be compare and contrast. When we are comparing and contrasting, what are we doing? For example, I have a huge contrast in the clothes that I'm wearing today. I have like very bright socks. I just wanted to contrast like the color of my pants and my socks. I have a bright green shirt. What does it mean when we compare and contrast, say, things, maybe fruits, maybe cars? What does it mean to compare and contrast? Christian. To compare and to contrast. What does that mean? Say it in your own words. Like, what do you understand by those words?
Likes and dislikes.
The likes and dislikes. What's another way of saying likes and dislikes? You are very much on point there. Like when we compare, we see we see things that are alike or things that are not alike. Could you say a little bit more? Why do you think we make comparisons? Can you say, instead of saying one word, I want you to maybe give me a sentence. Why might we compare and contrast? To see the differences. Okay. You play sports, correct? You play baseball. Would you say basketball is better than baseball? Would you say tennis is better than baseball? No. Why would you say that? baseball and tennis, and you're saying tennis is not better than baseball. So usually when we compare, we are making a value judgment. We are deciding if maybe one thing is better or not. Can you explain why you think maybe tennis is better or not better than baseball?
One sport is viewed more than the other.
So you said one sport is,
Like seen by more people than the other sports.
which one is seen by more people? Baseball. And how often do you play baseball?
Every other week.
Every other week. Thank you. The next word we are going to learn about is fate. Rachel, please go ahead and read the definition of fate.
Determined by supernatural power beyond a person's control.
Something determined by a supernatural power beyond a person's control. One of our earlier questions was whether you believed in fate or luck. Can I see by a show of hands, do you believe in fate or in luck? Can you raise your hand if you do? Do you believe in luck? Yes, you do. Taylor, why do you believe in luck? Have you ever maybe felt lucky over something?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more?
No.
What do you mean that no? So when did you feel lucky?
If I got a new game,
Have you got a new game? So you like to play games. The next word we are going to be learning about as part of our academic language development is motivation. And earlier on, Kate wrote the definition on the board back there about what motivation means. It says motivation can be made with words or action to give someone something to do. So motivation, how might we explain what motivation is? Can you think about that for a second? How would you say the meaning of motivation in other words? Anyone? Volunteers? Before I choose your name from motivation. What does motivation mean to you? Michael, did you want to give it a try? No?
Someone might listen to a song.
So someone might listen to a song, and what would listening to a song do to that person? Come on! What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So when you listen to a song, does the song give you motivation sometimes? Do we have any runners here? Like awesome. Do you like to go to the gym and listen to music as you exercise? Yes? Does it make you like motivated to continue? Yes? No? It also makes you concentrate. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let us move on to our next section. As we have been reading about Antigone, we've learned about like the different characters. We learned about some main characters and also some of the minor characters. I have a couple of questions for you. Again, I am going to be using the sticks to call out students' name to answer the questions. The first question is, what big ideas or themes explored in the play surprised you the most? I gave a couple of examples. Would it be fate? Would it be gender roles? Would it be crime? Would it be equality or choice? Or any other theme that we read about in the book? Take a second or take a moment to think about this, and I'm going to be calling out on your names to answer. You will have an option to maybe answer in the first question, or the second one, or the third. The second question, I need a reader. Victor, can you please read the second point?
Based on character traits, with which characters in Antigone do you relate?
Okay, so we read about these characters, Victor. With which characters do you relate? Can I hear some of the names of the characters in Antigone? What are the names of the characters in Antigone? Antigone, Priam, Ismene, two more. Polyneices and Priam. Thank you. You guys definitely know your characters. And then the third question, Victor, please choose the next person to read. Ryan.
Identify an important theme of this play, versus gender roles, and compare it to the moment in
Excuse me, hold on a second. Can you please look this up, right? Please read over, start over.
Identify an important theme of this play, justice, gender roles, and compare it to modern day.
So, this as an option. You do not have to do the third question, but let's focus on these two. We are going to choose names and please answer one of the two questions. Milady. Milady. Please choose to answer either one of these two questions, the first or the second. What big ideas or themes explored in the play surprised you the most? Or, based on a character's traits, with which character in Antigone do you relate the most? You relate the most with Antigone? Can you tell us a little bit more? Why do you relate with Antigone? What is it about Antigone's characters or personality that makes you relate to her? Maybe if you remember some of her traits, that might help you. Do you remember some of Antigone's traits? She was brave. Okay, so you relate with her. Can you say a little bit more maybe about her bravery and how you relate? Would you say that you are a brave person? Tell us some of the brave things that you've done, or just so we get a little idea of like how to make the comparison. Maybe I'll give you a little example. For example, one of the bravest things I've ever done is move to the US from South Africa and also learning English. It's not my first language, it's like my fifth language. And learning how to be a teacher, standing in front of students, is one of the bravest things I have to do. So, can you think about a moment that you've been brave and to draw that comparison to Antigone?
Probably when I had to stand up in front of the people and speak.
Speaking in front of people can be nerve-wracking. Tell me about it. Thank you for sharing, lady. And please choose one other person so that we review one of those questions about character traits or a theme. Josue, can you please choose either the first question or the second question? What is it? Ladies, can we please not do side conversations? Let's listen to what Josue has to say. What big ideas or themes explored in the play surprised you the most? or based on a character trait, with which character in Antigone do you relate? With? Okay, so you'd like to answer the second question. So based on can you read it actually? Can you read the second question? Starting here. With which character in Antigone do you relate? Think about the characters. We just named a few of them not so long ago. Think about it and then I'm going to come back to you, okay? As we proceed with our lesson, we have some important questions that we need to consider. I'm going to ask a student to please, a student or two, that is weird. Okay, when I enlarge it, it's not showing. I'm just going to leave the questions as they are. I think you are the last one to choose. You think, let's choose one. Allison, please. She left? No. Elizabeth. Elizabeth here. Is Elizabeth here? No?
She was the nurse.
Michael, can you please read those character analysis questions? You can come closer if, for some reason, this is not showing in bigger letters. I have no idea why.
Miss Amelia,
Yes.
just so you remember, in Schoology they can see all of your slides as well, so if you want to guide them to look at that, you can.
Oh, sure. You can actually open your Chromebooks and access the same slides on your Schoology account so that you will be able to see if the letters are too small. Go ahead and take out your Chromebooks and open it to the Schoology so you can see these questions. Michael, are you ready? Please go ahead and read the character analysis questions. Go ahead.
What kind of person is this character? Just the words you would use to describe him.
Keep going, please. The next question.
How does this person develop or reveal more about himself over the course of the play? Why is it so observant and excitation?
Keep going, please.
How are these characters' personalities alike or different? How do the character traits connect to a theme in the play? What conflicting motivations are these characters struggling with? Where do you see that in the text?
All right, so part of what we are doing today is rereading the text to cite some concrete details or to cite textual evidence. And you are going to practice writing a topic sentence, providing concrete detail, providing your commentary, which is like your paraphrase, where you paraphrase what a quote says. As we, whenever we get to the point where we are reading the text, I am going to ask you to refer back to your notes. All those annotations that you made, please use that. And I think that would be helpful for you to just go back. And also, just a reminder, towards the end of the semester, you are going to be writing an essay. And this will actually help you as you prepare to write your essay. For today's lesson, we are covering one of the standards for grade 10, which is to cite strong and thorough textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly, as well as inferences drawn from the text. What does the word inference mean? If I infer something, what does that mean? Earlier on, a student asked if I was wearing green because of my belief in the Irish lot or something like that. The student was able to infer. What does it mean to infer? If we make an inference, to guess. Thank you, Rachel. Do you sometimes guess? Like, did you, as we were reading Antigone, did you guess what was going to be happening? Ruben, you are shaking your head. Can you tell us a little bit more about what were you guessing that would happen in the play as we were reading?
Antigone was for sure gonna slightly back.
Okay, you guessed that Antigone was going to die. Did we get to that part in the scene where we found out? Or not yet? We're about to find out. Let me not spoil anything. Spoiler alert. And then we also have a couple of learning objectives. So what are we doing today? We are learning, or students will learn about analyzing themes by comparing and contrasting any two complex character traits and identifying 1 to 2 character traits. This is what we are doing today. We are going to analyze a character, and then we are going to compare 2 characters. We are going to be working in groups, and I will explain that as we get further along the lesson. Let us revise on some of those abbreviations that I had in the blackboard at the back. Yi-chan, I am going to ask you to go back to the board and write either one of these back in there. So I am going to ask for volunteers to help me with reading what's on the board. Kate, can you please go ahead and read? Sorry, the C was a mistake. 8 Eve. And then the definition of concrete detail. Can you please read that? Parenthetical. Awesome, thank you. Choose the next person to continue reading the revision of those academic terms. Belen. Belen, you have this surprised look. Can you please read from commentary 1? Come on closer. Or you can open on your, Rachel, can you share it with Belen? Commentary 1. Taylor, can you please come on up and write the definition of commentary 1? Where it says CM1.
Clarifies or explains what it means.
Continue. Commentary number 2. I guess
What?
after each end is done. So after this
Okay.
one, yeah. So CM, you know how it says commentary 1, CM. Just write the whole definition of what that word is. Can you? Commentary number 2.
Explain why the plot is important for the story. Characters, themes, mistakes,
So, in commentary number 2, says CM2, explain why this quote is important for the story, the character, a theme in the play, or in life. So part of what we're going to be doing, also in our essay, is using all of that. Concrete detail. Commentary number 1, where we paraphrase or explain what the quote means in our own words. And in commentary 2 is where you're going to actually engage in the analysis or synthesis, and where you're going to explain why the quote is important. All right. I am going to actually demonstrate my comparison of two characters, and where I use, for example, the characters, where I do the concrete detail, the commentary 1 and commentary 2. But before we get into that, I'm going to ask you to please take a break. You can shut your computers down. You will not need your computers when I'm doing my demonstration. So go on, pause whatever you're doing, and take a 1-minute break. I'm going to put the timer right here. Please get on up, hang around, go and chat with a friend. You can enjoy the beautiful view of the mountains and some of the trees out there. Come on back to your seats, please. Come on back to your seats, please.
No, we just said it right now.
What did you say about it? I don't know.
Oh, the drag
She there? Good demo.
Please come back to your seats.
Crazy.
Come on back to your seats. Please have a seat. Let's put our phones away in our bags. Please close your computers. Please shut your computers. Please shut your computers. I'm going to model a comparative analysis of two characters, and it is from a movie, No Country for Old Men. Has anybody seen that movie, No Country for Old Men? No. Okay, so it's something new. I just took the clip to demonstrate and to show you how to do a comparative analysis. As I do the comparative analysis, I'm going to explain who the characters are, the two characters. Anton Chigurh, who's played by Javier Bardem, And the other character is a gas station attendant. I am going to describe these characters' traits, and I'm also going to do a little comparison. So initially, I describe Anton as someone who's direct, threatening, dangerous, rude, inquisitive, a single guy, authoritative, and a boss, and bossy. The theme I was exploring is the theme of fate or luck. And with the next character, he is the gas station owner. Some of his character traits or his personality is that he is naive. Does anybody know what the word naive means? Naive? Do you know what naive means? So if someone is naive, it means that they are inexperienced, that they are innocent, that like sometimes little kids are naive. You could like tell them, Santa Claus is coming tomorrow, and they'll believe you, they're naive. That's an example. And then some of the character traits of the gas station owner is that he is talkative, presumptuous, he assumes things, he's married, he's a family man, he's inquisitive, meek, and humble. Kate, can you please get the lights for us? Let us pay attention to the clip where we are going to watch, and then I'm going to continue with a comparison of these characters. Pause this because the volume is not audible enough. Yes. Let's start over. Sorry, you guys.
I'm 69, see? That's a gas. You don't get any rain under your way. What way would that be? I seen you was from Dallas. What business is it of yours? Where from? Freddo. He ran by, took me above. She's passing the time. You don't want to accept that, I don't know why it's happening for me. Maybe something else. I don't know, will there? Is something wrong? With what? With anything? Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything? Well, with anything else? You already asked me that. Well, I need to see about closing. See about closing? Yes, sir. What time do you close? Now, we close now. No, it's not a time. What time do you close? Generally around dark, at dark. You don't know what you're talking about, do you? Sir? I said, you don't know what you're talking about. What time do you go to bed? Sir? You're a bit deaf, aren't you? I said, what time do you go to bed? Somewhere around 9:30. I'd say around 9:30. You could come back then. Why would you be coming back? We'd be closed. Yeah, you said that. Well, I got to close now. You live in that house on back? Yes, I do. You lived here all your life? This is my wife's father's place originally. You married into it? We lived in Temple, Texas for many years. Raised a family there in Temple. We come out here about 4 years ago.
You're married into it.
That's the way you want to put it.
I don't have some way to put it. That's the way it is. What's the most you ever lost in the coin toss?
Sir,
The most you ever lost in the coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it. For a whole lot.
Just call
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
it. You need to call it. I can't call it for you.
Wouldn't be fair. I didn't put nothing out.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. Just didn't know. You know what date is on this coin? 1958. It's been traveling 22 years to here. But now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say coin.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win for everything. How's that?
You stand to win everything. Call it.
All right. Heads then.
Well done. Don't put it in your pocket, sir. Don't put it in your pocket. It's your like a quarter.
Where do you want me to put it?
Anywhere, not in your pocket. Or it'll get mixed in with the others and think only just a coin. Which it is.
Can you please get the lights? That short clip, it was about 5 minutes, and I wanted to use that as an example of a comparative analysis. So I'm going to change my plan a little bit, and I think I'm going to ask us to do it as a whole class. So far, if we look at those two characters, one is Anton, the other one is the gas station owner, there are some similarities and differences between them. Some are really obvious, and I hope you were paying attention to that. When it comes to,
May I suggest, because you need the I do, we do, you do, that you still start this as the I do,
okay,
because we can do the we do and you do later,
okay,
but do them in order.
sure, thank you. And this is my comparison and this is how I decided to compare and contrast. I chose to compare their beliefs in luck. So one guy, Anton, believes in luck. The gas station attendant is totally unaware. Spoiler alert. Anton, the guy who says call it, is actually a psychopath. He's a serial killer. So he was going to determine by that coin toss whether that man was going to survive or not. So was it his lucky day? Yep, he called heads. And some of the context that I used to explain my analysis is Anton is talking to a gas station owner in a remote location. He initiates a coin toss to determine the fate of a chatty gas station clerk. Why do people use coin tosses? Can you turn to your partner to explain when do people usually use a coin toss to do what? Turn to your partner and have a little conversation about why do we do a coin toss usually. If you don't have a partner, find someone close to you, maybe get closer. Why do people do a coin toss? I'll give you about 30 seconds and then Victor, can you please have your head up? If you're not feeling well, you can go to the nurse's office, but you can have your head up. Okay, so I would like to hear from a couple of folks here. Rajon, why do people do a coin toss? Usually, before a game starts, people do a coin toss. Why do they do that? Like in football, if you watch football, or in soccer, why do they do that usually? To see which team will get the ball and start first, so that's an advantage. So sometimes we use a coin toss to determine like a choice or to. So one of the themes in here is choice. Like the guy could have chosen heads or tails, and that was going to determine his fate. And also, my concrete detail, what I quote as, what's the most you have ever lost in a coin toss? And then he says, don't put it in your pocket, it's your lucky quarter. So I use this line as my concrete detail. Would you agree that these were concrete details? Like, does it support my theme of fate or luck by quoting these lines? Can you raise your hand if you think that these are concrete details? Is that an example of like a quote that supports my analysis that, you know, there's something about fate? Can I see by thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up? I see a couple of thumbs. Thank you. I'm going to move on to the next part where I explain my first commentary, where I say Anthony's wondering if the old man likes to take chances if he believes in fate. The old man chooses carefully. The old man chooses carefully, and in my commentary number 2, a coin toss is symbolic to choice. Is a person's life controlled by fate? Do we choose our fate? Is our fate predetermined, or is it luck? Based on the video, I think sometimes you're lucky, sometimes it's fate. And then I'm going to move on to compare the very same idea, which is about fate, with my next character. So the gas station owner, I described him as someone who's talkative, he's naive. He actually has a couple of things in common with Anton. They both like to ask questions, but when Anton is asking questions, he gets irritated by the old man. Like, oh, but he's also asking him, don't you leave back here? What time do you go to bed? So both of them like to ask questions. Those are some of the similarities. And then when it comes to the belief in fate, the old man says, this is my concrete detail. I don't know. I couldn't say. Well, we need to know what we are calling it for here. I didn't put nothing up. I need to know what I stand to win. Usually when we do a coin toss, it's to win something. When people gamble, they do a coin toss to like, okay, you go first, or you play first in a soccer match or a football match, whatever. And then my first commentary, where I paraphrase what the character says. This is my interpretation. This is what I am inferring or what I am guessing, and how I am paraphrasing the character. Just another day at the gas station, the owner is engaging in small talk and has no idea how this fateful encounter could end with a coin toss. So I am using a double entendre here because his life could have ended. And in commentary number 2, the gas station owner is uncertain, and as fate would have it, he is lucky to live or to win the gamble for his life by choosing heads. So maybe there was fate, or maybe there wasn't. So that was my comparison. I hope it maybe will help you. So when you are making a comparison, choose one topic to compare, so I was comparing fate, I compared the character's traits, and one other thing I wanted to talk about is just like the components of a paragraph. When you're writing a paragraph, make sure you have a topic sentence, make sure you have the concrete details or supporting details where you quote or cite evidence from the text, and also conclude your sentence with a concluding statement. This is an example of a thesis that I wrote, like what I would write about those characters, and I want to make an example of a topic sentence. I said, Anton Shepherd lives in luck, and that luck determines a person's fate. Meanwhile, the gas station attendant lives in living an unassuming, planned out life unaware of fate or luck. I'm going to pause right here. And I'm going to ask a couple of those essential questions. Like, what type of a person is Anton? What type of a person is the old man? When you're writing your essay, you might want to also ask those questions. Like, what type of a person is Priya? What type of a person is Heyman? What type of a person is Sentry? You're going to use that knowledge or that information for your future essay. So all of this is just to help you with the upcoming essay, and I hope as you read and continue writing that you will actually like use those concrete details by citing and quoting. And I am going to remind you of the essay. There's an upcoming essay towards the end. So, as we get closer to the end of the semester, you're going to have three options of writing an essay. One is going to be a character analysis, just like what we did throughout the class. Option 2 is going to be a character comparison, like the example I did today. And in the next lesson, you are actually going to do that. And then option 3 is going to be a theme analysis, where you choose any of the themes in Antigone to do an analysis on. And it could be a theme of like family, crime, gender, or any other topics that we discussed. Before we close, I have a couple of questions. Okay, so by showing you that example of me comparing and contrasting two characters, I hope you actually learned something from it. Can I see by show of hands, was my comparison helpful for you? Can you raise your hand if that was helpful? Awesome. And then before the class ends, I would like to do a little assessment by asking you which characters' personalities are more alike or different in Antigone. So think about two characters in Antigone. Which characters are similar and which characters are different? Once again, I am going to be calling out names and be prepared. Giovanna. Okay, so let me actually transition to a different type of question. I saw a couple of hands raised when I asked if the example was helpful. Can you please share a little bit about what exactly was helpful to you in the lesson? Can you maybe turn to your neighbor for like 10 seconds and tell them what was helpful? And then we'll share it out loud. What was helpful about that example? You can turn around and partner with Rachel.
Dress and then wear out your bag too. Yeah, bro. You're one of those
That's where you can find the doctor. Please find a partner and talk to your partner. Well, we still have about 4 to 5 minutes, so do not start packing up. You can leave your bag on the floor and engage with your partners. Milady, can you partner with Josue, please? All the three of you. You can join. All right, I am going to start calling out names to hear your thoughts. Ruben, what was your thought? What was helpful about the example or the model?
I now know what we have to use in this class.
You know what are we doing for next class? Tell me. What are we doing for next class?
My hand's very nice.
Ruben, can you please explain a little bit more what we will be doing in the next class? You're going to compare and contrast characters. Awesome. Next person, Christian. What was helpful about this, the example I provided? Can we please listen to Christian? Thank you. Going through the steps? Okay. What does CD mean? The lady, CD. What is the abbreviation for CD? What does it mean? Anybody? Do you remember what the abbreviation for CD means? Like when you cite a text? It's right on the board. Concrete detail. CD stands for concrete detail. Going to choose someone else? Josue, what was helpful to you about the example that we did in class? What was helpful to you? What did you say? The writing helped you? Awesome. Josue, ladies and gentlemen, please pause with your talking. As we conclude the lesson, Josue said looking at the definitions helps. So in case you do not remember, let's look at those words at the back. TS stands for topic sentence. You can write that down so you'll remember for next time in your paragraph. You need a topic sentence. CD, concrete detail. CM1, it's where you, as Yi-Chen wrote, no, it was Taylor, right? Did you write CM1?
Yeah.
Taylor. What did you say was the meaning of CM1?
To paraphrase and explain it.
To paraphrase and explain it in your own words. And CM2 is, again, where you provide a more detailed explanation and you also do an analysis. Right now, I would like to hear some questions. What questions do you have? Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I will see you on Friday. Hold on a second, let me just pause the video. Thank you.